All right, good morning, folks. How we doing out there? So we have been and will continue looking closer at our elements of art or elements of visual communication. So today we're going to delve a little bit deeper. We're going to look closer at palette and color. So our goals for today are just to think about the way color is used to communicate ideas in visual texts. So what can color do? Well, it can do a couple of things really, really well. It can create specific moods. If you want a piece to feel happy or sad or angry or wild or hopeful, we use colors to create those feelings. But another thing that it is very, very effective at doing is representing specific concepts or ideas, or in other words, symbolizing concepts or ideas. So the things that we do primarily with color: create mood, symbolize concepts and ideas. So some real basics before we really delve into each of our colors. We have hot colors and cool colors. So hot colors are yellows, oranges, and reds, and any colors that are related to those. Now those can convey emotions ranging from happiness and joy to violence and anger, hostility, or aggression. Cool colors are violets, blues, and greens, and the derivations of those. Now, those can convey emotions ranging from calm, relaxation, tranquility, to sadness, melancholy, hopelessness, indifference. Well, let's go ahead and just dig into each of the colors and really think a little bit about what they are meant to represent and the moods that they can create. Our first one is red. Now, red is often associated with strength or passion or romance and love and excitement, but it can also be associated with danger or anger or aggression. It all depends on the context. Orange is typically used as a cheerful color that can signify youth or spontaneity or liveliness and energy. However, some darker oranges seem to denote things like distrust or even aggression. Yellow is a very, very, very complex color with many different interpretations. Now, of course, it reminds us of the sun. It reminds us of light. And with that, we get happiness, joy, the feeling of wisdom. But a dull yellow can be associated with things like sickness, or decay, or caution, or warning. There's also that old expression of "you're yellow," meaning you're a coward. So yellow can sometimes also be associated with cowardice or a lack of bravery. Green often represents harmony, balance, security, hope, peace, nature, growth. But some shades may represent sickness, like when you see the Mr. Yuck on Poison, or jealousy or envy. You know, you hear the green-eyed monster, or they're green with envy. So again, two sides to this color. Blue can create a feeling of openness, like the sky or the ocean, a feeling of expansiveness or infinity almost. It's often associated with compassion, caring, wisdom, stability. But it could also indicate sadness, melancholy, or resignation. After all, we do call being sad the blues sometimes in our culture. Violet, or purple, is an interesting color in that it's very, very complex again. Some lighter shades are calming and have a relaxing effect, while darker shades can create a sense of frustration or confusion. They can also create a sense of liveliness. If you're using something like a lavender, it can feel very, very alive and youthful. Or darker shades can create that gloomy feeling again, that feeling of sadness or despondence. With brown, we're thinking of the color of earth and wood, so it's very often associated with nature or a natural world. It creates the feeling of reliability or steadiness. It's often tied to nostalgia and the past. We often think about our memories in terms of almost a brownish hue. And then many places it's been used to create somber moods and to represent things like poverty or struggle. Black. With black, we get mystery and intrigue, the unknown, the unknowable. We also get things like the morbid, grief, mourning. Oftentimes, evil is represented with black. But black is also, in many cases, the color of sophistication. Like when we talk about a black tie affair, that means like a very fancy party. White, we often associate with safety, cleanliness, purity, and freshness. In some cases, it can be kind of stultifying. Like if we're seeing an overly white room, it might make us feel a little bit like it's antiseptic or strangely empty. However, with all of these different things that we've just talked about, we have to keep this in mind. Context is important in interpreting colors. There's going to be a little bit of subjectivity from person to person, but there are also differences between cultures or culturally specific meanings for certain colors. For example, in many Eastern cultures, the color white is the color of mourning and death, rather than black. Or, for example, green represents freedom in Mexico. That's a very highly culturally specific example. And then red represents luck and fertility in China. And these are just a very, very small few examples of these different culturally sensitive, culturally relevant differences in the way colors are perceived or what they symbolize. Now, there are many words to describe palettes and colors, and you guys are going to need to get pretty good at using them over the course of our unit here. So here's a gigantic list. You guys have this available to you in the notes that are also shared. What you're going to do now is jump into that activity that's going to ask you to look at 3 pieces and consider what their colors look like, feel like, and do. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Shoot me a message. Have a great day, guys.